Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Make your next vacation unforgettable on Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas. It's everything you've loved about every family vacation you've ever been on, with mind-blowing thrills at the largest water park at sea, 7 onboard pools for every level of chill, more than 40 ways to dine and drink, and even more to enjoy at our award-winning private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. This is the new Star of the Seas. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, and you can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/@RamsUpPodcast. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined often by my football guru, Ian, along with a bunch of other friends of the show on occasion. Let's get to it. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Mark from Rams Up here. Hope you're all doing okay. This is a Rams Up update for July 7th, 2025. You know, I've been seeing some content out there about the 5 most important Rams, the 10 most important Rams, and so on. And then I did that little bit on the defensive coordinators in the NFC West, and I talked about all the pressure Chris Shula is under this year. This is a young, up-and-coming defense, a defensive coordinator in his second year, and it's his defense. He owns it, and there's high expectations for this defense, so he needs to deliver. And I thought I would talk about the 10 Rams that I think need to deliver this year, kind of under a lot of pressure, these 10 guys, and we'll talk about that, number 10 through number 1. And before I get started, I saw a little bit about some of the problems the 49ers have had with free agency compared to how the Rams have dealt with similar issues. And the 49ers, and yeah, do I pick on the 49ers a lot? Guilty as charged. I kind of enjoy it, to be totally honest. But over the last few years, they had Eric Kendricks apparently agreed to a contract there. And then at the last minute, he bounced over to the Cowboys. DJ Humphries, same thing. They had an agreement. Humphries didn't sign it, bounced over to the Rams. Dre Greenlaw actually had a better offer from the 49ers, and he opted to roll with the Broncos. Jimmy G left somewhat unhappy. And then Davante Adams, his agent, telling Davante that the 49ers were only paying wholesale. And Davante saying, I'm not a wholesale kind of guy. And I guess that conversation back and forth went on for a few days between the agent and the 49ers. And they just kept on saying, wholesale price, baby. And Davante is like, I could just picture him rolling his eyes. And I kind of like what I'm hearing from Sean McVay. I think I'm going to roll with the Rams. So 49ers, the poor draft picks of the last few years. And then if you look at their free agency track record, they maybe had a decent offseason this past year by all accounts in the free agency. as far as bringing guys in that can help them. But man, overall, there's, just not a good look for the 49ers when it comes to the recent draft picks and prior to this year. Actually, including this year, if you talk about Davante Adams, how they've handled incoming potential signings this year. Actually, DJ Humphries and Davante Adams, two guys that ended up with the Rams that turned their backs on the 49ers for one reason or another. But just wanted to mention that. It's a feel-good Monday. That should make all Ram fans feel pretty good. The 49ers kind of blowing chunks in one fashion or another. Now, it is episode 774 on the podcast, and I've talked about two guys that wear number 74. One of them's obvious, Merlin Olsen, and there's only one other guy, and that is Big John Baker. Actually, two other guys, Big John Baker, and then there's a third guy. And after I talk about this third guy, we will be done with number 74s, thanks to Merlin Olsen. I don't think anyone's going to be wearing that uniform again. So we had Merlin Olsen, Big John Baker, and the only other 74 we can talk about is offensive tackle, defensive tackle, played both ways. Len, I'm going to struggle with this last name, Tews, Len Tews. He was 6'5", 242 pounds out of Tulane. Rams drafted him in the 25th round of the 1952 draft. Was it 1952? I believe it was. Yes, 1952. Played 2 years for the Rams, 11 starts, then moved on to the Chicago Cardinals. So we are done with number 74s. We will never talk about another 74 again. You know what? That's not true. I'll circle back and talk about Merlin Olsen a handful of times because there's no one else to talk about. So, and we could talk all day about Merlin Olsen, and maybe we will do just that. So let's look at these 10 players who better deliver, that need to deliver for the Rams to be successful. Now, we don't need all of these guys to deliver, but these are the guys that we're kind of counting on. And number 10 is Coleman Shelton. And, look at it this way. We all had a pretty good feeling about Bo Limmer last year. He had his issues, especially in pass blocking, made a very costly mistake in that playoff game. So the Rams go out and bring Coleman Shelton back, and McVay just hands him the job. Well, he better get it done. If we're benching Bo Limmer and paying Coleman Shelton some money to come in and solve a problem. Is this a solution without a problem? I'm not sure, but McVay seems to think so. So he better deliver. And this offensive line, the two guards on either side of him are pretty solid. And Coleman Shelton, known for his ability to, get that offensive line organized, make blocking calls and such. So let's hope he can get it done. We already have an issue at left tackle that we're dealing with. So we can't afford to have Coleman Shelton coming up short for us. So he's a guy that has to deliver. Number 9, the number 9 guy that has to deliver is Nate Landman. And the way I look at it is this way. Omar Speights is going to be the number 1 guy, I think. And Troy Reeder, we all know how we feel about Troy Reeder. Pooh Paul, hey, if he ends up being an impact player, that will be awesome. I don't think there's any pressure on Pooh Paul to get rolling with this defense, but I think there is for Nate Landman, especially when we think about what he's here for. He's here to make tackles in the run game, and he better get it done. I suspect he's going to be the guy. Could Sean Dolak end up being out there? Pooh Paul, Troy Reeder? I don't know. I think it's going to be Landman and Spades, and we're counting on Nate to seal up that run game for us. Last year, I don't even want to talk about it. There was 2 or 3 times where, the run defense broke down in a serious way, and we're hoping Nate Landman can deliver in that aspect and make sure that doesn't happen again. If teams are going to break off big runs once in a while, but last year that was pitiful. And the eighth guy that has to deliver, and I'm including Quentin Lake, and he's a solid guy. I get it, and there's no reason to question whether he will deliver or not. But this is where I'm coming from on this. We didn't improve our cornerback group. We didn't improve our safety group. And that puts a lot of pressure on Quentin Lake, I think. He's a guy that may have to play some star position, play that nickel back position, maybe drop back and play safety. He is the glue that holds that secondary together. So he needs to deliver. He needs to continue playing at a high level, and he will. But if he were to, where I'm coming from on this is if his play were to deteriorate in any way, it could really impact our defense in a bad way. So Quentin Lake needs to deliver, and I feel pretty confident he would. That's why I have him at number 8 here, and this is an increasing importance is the way I look at it.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao, a new kind of flavored sparkling water. The kind made with real fruit juice, a pinch of Sicilian salt, and the sparkle of the Italian sun. With no added sugar and just 10 or less calories per can, enjoy. With love, from Italy. By San Pellegrino Ciao now.
This MailChimp-verific jingle is brought to you by MailChimp.
MailChimp, your marketing with AI and more. Advanced automations to connect to your store. MailChimp, your marketing and boost your clicks. Multi-channel campaigns now with SMS. That's lit.
MailChimp your marketing today with the #1 AI-powered email marketing and automation platform, Intuit MailChimp. #1 based on publicly available data on competitors' customers. Plans vary. SMS available as add-on. Visit MailChimp.com.
Una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. 8 configuraciones diferentes, intensidad ajustable, además es calefaccionado. Y se siente tan bien. Sí, una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. Y 2, bueno, aún más. Pero cuando esas sillas de masajes vienen con un auto, se vuelven bastante prácticas. El nuevo Volkswagen Tiguan 2025 con funciones premium como los asientos delanteros con masaje disponibles. Solo parece extravagante.
Everyone who works at Starbucks, full or part-time, gets stock in our company, simply for being part of our company. That's why we call our employees partners, because when Starbucks succeeds, our people do too. And that success turns into down payments, family vacations, and so much more. At Starbucks, benefits like company stock are just the start. Learn more about how we support partners at starbucks.com/partners.
Number 7 is Tutu Atwell. Now, by the way, I was going to include Jordan Whittington here, but I think it's really about Tutu Atwell delivering. He got that new contract, 1-year deal, no more Cooper Kupp, and we know what he can do when he's targeted. He's one of the best receivers. He might have been the best receiver on this team last year per targets. Very, very good results when Stafford targets him, and he's going to get a lot more snaps, and I suspect he's going to get a lot more targets. And he needs to deliver when he gets the ball in his hands, especially. We need that explosiveness, and Tutu is a guy that can deliver that, and hopefully he will. So Tutu Atwell, my number 7 guy there. I think he's going to be entrenched as a number 3 receiver, and hoping for big things from Tutu. Let's see who's next. Another wide receiver, Davante Adams. And, there's a little piece of me that is concerned, that Allen Robinson syndrome, and Davante Adams is no Allen Robinson. So I fully expect, and all reports are that Davante Adams' his play has not dropped off at all. But are we counting on him to deliver? Absolutely. If for some reason his play did take a dip as he gets up there in years a little bit, that's going to be a really difficult thing for this offense to overcome. He is an extremely important piece of this offense. The 2025 Rams offense is counting on him to be, if not our number 1, a 1B wide receiver for this offense. He's got to come through for us, and I think he will. but he's got to deliver. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. And who else? Terrence Ferguson is my fifth guy here. And why do I say Terrence Ferguson? I say Terrence Ferguson because more of a long-term thing. You know, we went all in on this draft pick. That's probably an overstatement. He was our first pick. Let's just put it that way. He was our first pick. We dropped back down into the second round and picked up Terrence Ferguson. And it worked out for us, hopefully. We'll have to see. But he needs to come through for us because, you know, we've hit better on third, fourth, and fifth round picks than we have in second round picks. And, you know, we just need him to come through and be the tight end of the future. We need him to deliver. Now, could this offense survive and play at a high level if it was about Tyler Higbee and Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen? Yeah, I suppose. But long term, I think more of a long-term look, we need Terrence Ferguson to step up and be that guy. And number 4, you know, I'm kind of copping out here on you. We just need the third pass rusher to deliver, whether it's Josiah Stewart, Brennan Jackson, or Nick Hampton, or someone else. Keir Thomas, I think it's going to be Stewart or Jackson. We cannot, you know, we talked about TJ Watt, and, you know, we don't really need a TJ Watt on this defense, but we do need a third pass rusher. TJ Watt would not be a third pass rusher. He'd be a first or second pass rusher. And then you have your third pass rusher, assuming you don't have to give up a Byron Young. But regardless, you still need a third pass rusher, with or without TJ Watt. And so one of these guys has to deliver. We need a third guy. Michael Hoyt gone. You know, the answer is not Jared Verse and Byron Young. End of story. We need a third guy. And that's going to be crucial for this defense, and especially when you consider what Michael Hoyt's role was last year. I think Brennan Jackson could be well suited for that. Josiah Stewart, a little bit smaller, 240 pounds, not quite sure about that. He can fit into this offense in a different way, maybe not as a Michael Hoytish player. But going off on a tangent here, we need a third pass rusher to deliver. And next, we need Kyren Williams to deliver. He's my third guy here. And by that, I mean, just hang on to the ball. If he hangs onto the ball, we'll be okay. I don't expect he's going to turn into a guy, an explosive runner overnight. I just want him to hang on to the football. And if he does that, you know, he's one of the best running backs in the NFC for sure. So we need him to deliver ball security. That's what we need him to deliver. And my number 2 guy is Poona Ford. You know, I talked about, Ian and I talked a little bit about Poona Ford, how crucial he was to improve this defense, the run defense, and someone on the YouTube channel chimed in that they thought he was mediocre in some games, in that playoff game against the Texans, a non-factor. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't gone back and looked. Sometimes it's difficult to evaluate you know, defensive linemen. We saw that with Aaron Donald, where he'd come out of a game with half a tackle, you know, one combined tackle in a game, and everybody thinks he was a non-factor when actually he was getting triple teamed every down. So I'm not sure where the truth lies with Poona Ford as far as last season, but, you know, we are counting on him to be a big part of the solution to our run defense woes that we saw last year. So he must deliver. If he does not deliver what we're expecting in the run defense department, defense is going to have some issues. We added the linebackers to address it. We drafted Ty Hamilton. We have Tyler Davis coming back, a couple of other guys. We have a couple of really big undrafted rookie free agents that could fill a role as run stoppers. Got to make the 53, of course. But it's really about Poona Ford. A lot of pressure on him. He needs to deliver. This defense needs him badly, in a bad way. Poona Ford. And my number 1 guy right now, based on what we know, it's DJ Humphries. You know, we have to presume at this point, Alaric Jackson can't go on opening day. Maybe he does. Maybe, I don't know. I've heard so many different opinions that, hey, Rams will get him squared away. He'll be good to go. Just get him the right meds, monitor his situation on a daily basis, and the Rams offensive line will be ready to roll. And then I've heard other people say, what's this guy doing playing football? It's not safe. Crazy talk having him out there playing in the National Football League in the trenches with his blood clotting situation. I don't know. The truth is somewhere in between. But for now, DJ Humphries needs to deliver. This offense is counting on him. He's got to be the guy. He's got to answer the bell for us. I'm pretty sure he's going to be at least an adequate left tackle. Is that good enough? Is that good enough for this offense to thrive? I don't know. I'd like to see some really strong play out of our left tackle, not just adequate. And I think Humphries is capable. He's proven it in years past. Came back from an injury last year and did not play well. Ended up getting benched by the Chiefs. He's had over a year and a half to heal now. New coaching staff. He's proven when healthy and a little bit younger, very good left tackle. He's got to deliver for us, man. Unless we hear really good news about Alaric Jackson, DJ Humphries suddenly becomes one of the biggest question marks, a guy that has to deliver for this Rams offense to thrive. So there you have it. There's my 1 through 10, the 10 players who must deliver. And, there's obvious guys that I'm leaving out. Matthew Stafford, our guards, Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. I don't think there's any question that those guys will deliver. I'm talking about the guys that maybe there's a little bit of uncertainty. They need to deliver. And man, crossing my fingers, that's what happens. Because if they do, if all 10 of these guys deliver, Super Bowl, baby. If 7 or 8 of them do, still have a good shot. That's all I got. Hope you enjoyed that out here from Rams Up.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.